there are essentially two systems for making television shows. There's the American system, which we call the showrunner system, and there's the other system, which I think of as the BBC system because I think it was pioneered there, and I always thought of it as the story editor system because at the BBC for the longest time, and I think sometimes still, you had writers writing, but the person who was in charge of the show was well, I guess I'll call him a bureaucrat, though I don't mean that in a derogatory way. But an executive who works for the company, called a story editor, who would hire all the writers and assign them and give them notes. As opposed to a showrunner system. The showrunner system, the person in charge of all decisions, both creative and actually financial, aside from how much money is going to be spent, which is the broadcasters, is the head writer, usually the creator, sometimes not. The two shows I've run for American television, I didn't create it. They existed, and I took over for somebody else, whether the creator or somebody who would replace the creator. I find, I admit I'm prejudiced, I'm American, I'm also a writer. I find the showrunner system to be vastly superior because all the decisions are being made by the person who is completely consumed with telling the story. You have a singular vision driving the telling of these stories. It doesn't guarantee a good show, but the chances are better. Now, I believe in writers. I think writers should run things because we're the ones who tell the stories. In Europe, under the other systems, you have directors who are in charge sometimes, or you have producers who are in charge. You need one really creative person to be running things. And if that person is a director, and if that director actually understands the nuances of story and the nuances of how to structure a story, that's great. I don't think with all due respect, I don't think there are a lot of directors who think like that because, especially TV directors, that's just not their job, right? David Mamet said in a memo to his writing staff, don't ask the director to tell the story. That's not his job. Director's job is to tell the actors to talk faster. It's the writer who has to think through all the choices the characters make, has to understand what all the lines of dialogue means. If that person is in charge of all the decisions, you will have a show that's consistent. And if the decisions are right, hopefully you'll have a show that's good as well. I think you have a much better chance of a very significant show if you have a writer in charge.